Alright, before we get started with this video, I need you to know something very important. Cleanse right now, as I am recording this, editing it, uploading it, is bugged. You cannot use it to cleanse yourself from the Ghost King chase, or even the Lich circles. Keep that in mind, please, while you're watching the video. Just remember, Cleanse is bugged right now. Thank you. Hey everyone, after seeing the most recent success on my solo Ghost King video, I decided to make a guide to help you all solo Ghost King as Cleric or maybe any other class. So this guide will be divvied up into 3 sections. The first section we'll cover is the mechanics of the Ghost King itself, the boss mechanics. The second section of the video would be to how to cheese said mechanics, how to avoid, dodge his abilities, attacks, whatever. And the third part of this guide will be for Cleric players, the recommended perks and skills to take for this fight. So the Ghost King has a few abilities. The first ability is his teleport attack. The Ghost King throughout the fight will often teleport to the player and leave a pool that applies a debuff on the player. The teleport deals damage if the player happens to be within teleport range, and the pool applies a dot on the player, or a debuff rather, that increases the damage from the Ghost King by a certain percent. So you don't want to have a lot of the debuff on you, because more of the debuff means you'll take more damage from the Ghost King. His second main ability is his orb attack. So what the Ghost King will often do throughout the fight is, if you're kind of close enough to him, if you're within range, he will kind of do a shotgun orb attack in front of him. And this will be important for the cheese. He aims at you directly. So keep that in mind. It's going to deal some damage, and if you get hit by these orbs, they will drop the same pools that he drops when he teleports. So it's really important for when you're soloing this boss to not get hit by the orb attacks. His next ability is whenever you reduce the Ghost King's HP by 20%, he will scream. And the scream does a room-wide damage. It's unavoidable. You just have to be prepared for that damage. So when you deal a lot of damage to the Ghost King in a short time frame, just be ready for that scream and be ready to heal or have some kind of pot ticking. Another one of Ghost King's abilities is the chase. So after every so often, the Ghost King will sit down and be like, he'll just suck up the air or something, and then he'll start chasing you. If you get caught by this chase, you are going to have a extremely bad time, because you're going to take a shit ton of damage and the Ghost King is going to heal. In High Roller, he moves much faster than he does in normal, so make sure you have some kind of way or strategy to deal with it. I'll talk about the Cleric strategy in the cheese part of the guide, but you gotta improvise and think about how to deal with this as your class. And for the Ghost King's last and most iconic ability, the jump. So I'll talk about how you can deal with this jump, but for now all you need to know is that ever so often again, the Ghost King will teleport to the middle, or if he's already within the circle, he will jump, like prepare to jump. So keep in mind, he can do an early jump and he can teleport to the middle. Be prepared for both. He goes up into the air, does a little bob, and bounces back down. And when he goes up into the air, nightmare bats spawn on High Roller, which is what this guide's for. So you really need to be prepared for these bats. They're going to deal a lot of damage. You got to watch out for the jump, because if you miss that jump, he's going to slam into the ground and one-shot you, and you're not going to have a good time. You're going to die. So, alright, we're going to talk about how to cheese these mechanics now. So for his teleport attack, it's usually followed by an audio cue. When you hear that audio cue, be prepared to walk away a certain distance from the Ghost King. Make sure the Ghost King is always pulled out of the pools that he drops from this teleport attack, so that you can actually attack him and not have to stand in some kind of pool when you're attacking the Ghost King. This is probably your most important cheese to maximize your damage on the Ghost King. This is going to be the orb attack cheese. So there's a few ways you can do this. If you have a shield, you could always block the orb shot. I've done it many times on the Cleric. Might be hard with the buckler, but it's pretty easy with the heater and round. But what I do to maximize my damage is I jump and I kind of crouch and look down right before he shoots. It will take a lot of practice. You're probably not going to be able to one-shot him doing this. You're probably not going to be able to do it your first try. That's okay. So take a few attempts at doing this. But right as he's about to shoot, right before, you jump, crouch, and look down and stay crouched until he's done shooting. What you're essentially doing is you're jumping so the orbs are aimed above more, and you're crouching and looking down so that even if the orbs are a bit more aimed down, the orbs won't hit you because you baited them by jumping upwards. Now for the chase, I will tell you as Cleric, I just bring Cleanse, and I cleanse the chase whenever he gets to me instantly so that he doesn't gain any HP from the suck. So I just cleanse it, but there are a few other ways. I know Francisca's slow the boss, crossbow shot slow the boss, earthquake slows the boss, you could take off your clothes and maybe outrun the boss, etc. So there are a lot of ways to deal with the chase, and I'm not going to really say, oh yeah, taking your clothes off will work, because to be honest, this cleric, I really haven't tested that. I just kind of cleansed it, or I ran out the room. But if you run out the room solo, the boss is going to reset, so you can't really run out the room. What I'd recommend doing is bring cleanse or testing with other methods if you would like. At your own discretion, be careful. So for his jump attack, let's talk about the bats. You either have Mika or you don't have Mika. If you have Mika, Holy Purification, you can purify the bats before he even jumps, as in before he goes down. So it takes a few maybe tries or attempts or whatever to get this down, but once you do, it will save you and your team, or you and yourself if you're solo, a lot of time killing this boss, because you don't have to worry about the bats after. If you don't have Mika, I would recommend putting a prot on yourself as he's getting ready to jump in the middle, so if the bats hit you during mid jump or whatever after the jump, you won't instantly die because you have a prot on yourself. And I would recommend using your smite or judgment or whatever on these bats, because these bats are really annoying to deal with and they're probably going to kill you. Now, for actually avoiding his jump, I'm going to be honest, I'm probably not going to explain it that well, but for what I have written down is when he does his final upward motion, his final bob, I guess you can say, you want to jump. If you don't know how to get this jump down, it's going to take some practice. I'm going to be honest, I've died many times to this jump, like 5+. When I first started getting better at this and stuff. But once you have it down, I haven't died in a very long time to this jump. You shouldn't either. It becomes muscle memory, and yeah. So just test around, or go in with a group and test a jump. Don't be scared. Practice makes perfect. Alright, so this section is now going to be about what perks and skills you should take as a cleric. Sorry for another class, but maybe in a future video I'll do other classes. But for now, this is for cleric. So for your perks, there's two setups. The first setup will be if you just want to purely boss. If you want to purely just boss, you're going to be wanting to take protection from evil so that you don't get punished as hard from those debuffs you get from the Ghost King. Blunt Weapon Mastery to do more damage to the Ghost King. Undead Slaying to do more damage to the Ghost King. And Advanced Healer to give yourself more healing if you take damage from the Ghost King. These will be your perks for pure bossing. If you're looking to do PvP and bossing to just have like a somewhat normal build, we're gonna reset. Let's take Advanced Healer to keep yourself up through the dungeon and the boss fight. Blunt Weapon Master to make sure you're self-sufficient in the dungeon and to do more damage to the Ghost King. Perseverance to just overall take less damage from Ghost King, bats, players, etc. And for your last perk, it's a bit of a toss-up. If you have trouble with PvE, take Undead Slaying. It'll help you kill the Ghost King quicker. If you're really worried about the debuffs, you're having trouble with that, take Protection from Evil. If you feel like that you don't really care about PvE or the debuff from the boss, like Protection from Evil, take Holy Aura to give yourself 15 armor and 15 MR. For me personally, I would take Undead Slaying. It allows me to move quicker from the map, it allows me to kill the boss quicker, etc. I would just take this, but I do sometimes take this as well. I don't really like taking Protection from Evil. And now let's talk about our skills. So, if you're learning boss, take Holy Fury. Take it. It's going to help you so much with the bats, it'll help you move around the map quicker, etc. Once you've learned the fight and you have that shit down, take Smite, so you're a bit stronger in the dungeon. Alright, and that's going to finish up my solo Ghost King guide. Feel free to come hang out with me on Twitch at twitch.tv/PoshiPop. I solo boss all the time. Right now, unfortunately, I can't because Cleanse is bugged. There's a 1v1 tournament going on today at about 6 p.m. Eastern when this video gets uploaded. Go check my other YouTube videos. And yeah, just feel free to come hang out with me. I love chatting with you guys, answering questions, chilling, inting on stream, all that good stuff. Alright, see you guys.